Hello and welcome to First Play. This is Striving for Light Survival, a Horde survival arena-based game that we're going to be getting into. I'm recording this after the fact because I had some technical difficulties with the first clip. So I'm just showing you the character screen before hopping back to the original film. You have a variety of weapons, characters, and skills to choose from. You start off with a short sword and a light staff, and you have these two characters to choose from. One is more melee based, one is more projectile based. You get one of each, a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. Down below, you have a series of skills here that you unlock over time as you complete certain objectives, like unlock 8 maps or defeat the end boss on tier 4. This is your build for the game. The skill system is randomized on a skill tree. You'll get to see it as we get into it, but you get to select up to 12 of these, and if you don't select 12 in total, you'll get random additional ones added to the spawn pool, which is pretty cool. So let's hop into the first map. The basement. They say this was the first place captured by the corrupted. All right, zoom in and out, WASD, little dodge. And shoot, or click to shoot. Uncollected light fragments convert to elite enemies. Interesting. Toggle skills. You can temporarily deactivate skills to maintain your attack speed. Skills can be reactivated at any time. Increase your attack speed or right mouse button. Toggle skill on and off. Doubling up on melee. Seems like a solid grab. How many? All right, looks like we did it. We can use the search function to search for attack speed. Everything will be highlighted. All right, so what are we doing here? Movement speed. Those are both attack speed based. Your range attacks cast a swirling blade, which is cycling around you, applying a bleeding condition to all hit enemies. Bleeding also deals 10 damage. Applies bleeding to enemies. Each 2-second additional damage. Shot angle is increased, okay. Additional damage per tick. Max health seems to be good. AoE is always wonderful. Poison shot. Let's go for those two there. Range shot angle is increased. You deal an additional melee hit with hitting enemies, so we can double up on our double hit. Question is, do we want attack speed or angle? These are both for shooting. Let's grab our attack speed. I guess the one thing I don't have understood at this moment, oh Lord, I am approaching death. I want to pick up those hearts. Uncollected light fragments convert to elite enemies. Uncollected but stashed. Okay, so this is what I was trying to figure out, what they were for. Every 10 light fragments will be converted to an elite enemy spawn, which will show up in the next wave. If defeated, it will drop a big light fragment containing all the EXP of the stashed light fragments. All right. I think we need to grab one more health. Trying to figure out what the hitbox is for everything is part of the challenge of new games like this. I wonder if the uncollected fragments is one of the methods for the game's difficulty progression, where when you start getting so many things on screen, you end up just creating more elites as you play, and it kind of naturally progresses. Maybe, I don't know, I'm speculating. So how many double hits can we get? Melee damage plus a bunch. So we're at like a ridiculous amount of double hits right now. One more elite. Beach time, complete 5 waves. All right, little achievement. 3 to level up, so we can go for... Your projectiles hit poison all nearby enemies, dealing 10 damage each for 3 seconds. 9 seconds total. Scales with AoE size. Let's boost our melee damage. I guess we'll add another projectile. So projectile speed has come way down. Well, attack speed has come way down. All right, so that's where you start running into stuff, is each of these skills reduce your attack speed. So we got 2. Can we take off individual? We can. So let's drop those 2. And grab another attack speed. I don't really have a lot of projectiles, that's the problem. And the question is, what counts as a projectile for it to split? So we have these blades that rotate around us. Are those going to split? Or is it just the one I'm shooting from my staff? I do want some crit. But a stiff boost in melee seems more reasonable. All right, attack speed's back. Like, I really like this art style. It's very unique, but it makes figuring out what hitboxes are really challenging. All right, 2 points. So we can go for some more attack speed. And some more base damage. That second hit, it's pretty hard. I'm having a hard time knowing if some of these things are how they're adding together. So let's try this. Okay, so it does, the skill doesn't double up, but every instance of it increases your damage output. All right, that makes more sense. I like the boom boom. So that's just going to increase the damage output, not skill type range. I don't think I have any scattering. Oh, no? I don't. Let's see what that one does. Okay. Interesting. So essentially you have a few things going on here. You have a ranged weapon and a melee weapon. And from there, you can get additional additives in your skill tree that combine. They don't necessarily multiply. So if you get a double hit several times, you're not getting multiple hits, you're just getting a more stronger double hit. Okay. Sometimes these games that have a lot of these elements put together in them can be really confusing because they have so much going on. It's hard to... Can I make this go away? I can't. It can be really challenging understanding the way the mechanics are put together because they're not particularly well explained. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. This one isn't really all that put together. So this just adds another direction. Okay. I am starting to track all of these things. So now instead of shooting just one direction, it'll shoot forwards and backwards. So grab some crit. And some more attack speed. So we're gonna go up and grab the melee damage. So I should be shooting in 2 directions now. So it looks like it's just the main body is the thing you have to worry about. The little leg areas aren't necessarily concerning. Now I am starting to see where getting a wider arc would be beneficial for your attack. Projectile damage increased by 100%. Seems like a solid choice. The way this tree fills out is wild too. I wonder if it's pre-established? Like, how does it know how to come together? One thing I would like to see is equipment. I think equipment would be an interesting additive. Now they have in the character selection screen a variety of weapons and things that you can choose from, but I'm talking about in-game changes to equipment in addition to the leveling system. In the same way that Death Must Die has a system in place. AoE damage. You know what? We'll chase this line. Gives us some crit. I also wonder if this is a 20 wave system. A lot of these games that run on waves typically operate after 20 waves. I don't know why 20 was the number that everyone decided on. Someone did it first and are like, this is a good idea. And it just stuck. It's really interesting seeing the shadows on the creatures. Trying to figure out, and it's simply based on my location. I was trying to see if my cursor was part of it. All right, we already have one crit. All your conditions deal 50% additional damage on each tick per applied damage stack. Bump up some crit. So right now, I don't have anything doing damage over time. I have the poison hit and the bleed, but I only have one instance of this, so it's not doing a lot of damage. So let's take a look at this. We have this one here, which is 20 damage, 10 over 2 seconds, and then we have bleed over here, which isn't on, but it's 10 damage every 3 seconds. So we're gonna click this. That goes up to 15. 10 damage every 2 seconds. Not sure how that modified it. And we'll turn this on for the old shits and giggles. I was just gonna say, I was wondering what everything looked like. Crit chance, area of effect, companion damage. Complete 12 waves. I unlocked the throwing axe. Start grabbing some of these hearts. Now what is this counter up here? Oh, it's the wave that we're on. Now what is this number here? Let's bump up our projectile damage. I can definitely see how this game gets into some excessive amounts of chaos. I will say I like that the hearts and collectibles that drop, not the experience modes per se, but just the additional HP stays on the map in between maps. They're like you're gonna need it. So we have Another shooting direction there. And that's only for shooting. Big old bump in projectile damage. Might need to start picking up some movement speed. I was getting greedy. Could really use some healing. All right, looks like we are approaching the end of our life. In part, I got greedy. I tried running in there when I knew I shouldn't have. So now we need to pick up at a minimum another health. Damage seems like a solid move. So does maybe a little move speed. Now, what's the classification or the thing that what's the thing you're doing that gives you hearts? Is it just a random drop rate? Do they spawn every level? I really like how the need to balance skills used with attack speed is really interesting. So it is 20 waves. Ranged attacks have a 50% chance to cast a meteor on a random area in your attack direction. Wishing to see some new stuff pop up. I could go for another projectile. Projectile hits poison all nearby enemies. Speed, range, range. Where are my stats and my skills? So that scales with AoE. Okay, so let's grab some. Let's make ourselves bigger. Now the question is, do I have anything I want to undo? Most of this looks pretty good. Melee damage 47. Projectile damage 38. I don't necessarily know that I like having that pop up on screen every time I collect a skill. Or not a skill, I'm sorry, a rune. A big banner is kind of a nuisance as far as visibility goes. This feels like a holdover level. Take a break, or we come in and maul you. Those would pretty much negate each other, but give me a meteor. Pretty much every attack. Does it show my attack speed? 70. So let's find one in a direction I want. That's probably a good one. So it's a direct additive. Grab another projectile. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. But that's also based on the skill that I selected, because there is both a directional one and a projectile one. So I can increase the number of shots, but also the number of places that the projectile shoots. Damn, ran right into that. And every time one of them dies, they explode into a bunch of bullets. This gets really confusing really fast. The end game will be the test. Does it get so busy on screen that you have no idea where you are and what you're doing? So that's a new direction of shooting, and that's the number of shots. So let's find... grab another projectile damage. It's a long way up that tree. I got 2 waves left. No point in chasing it. So I'm gonna get another level. 3 in total. So let's see what... grab some attack speed. It does appear that move speed does become critical-ish, at least at certain stages of the game. All right, one more, final boss. Let's see what the end stage looks like. So do they just auto give you 2 skills? $235. Oh, so it was at 185 and that bumped it up to 235. Okay. All right, let's go faster. It is kind of nice not having to worry about the legs too much. Because that would be pretty ridiculous. All right, we finished the first wave. Looks like they don't end it on boss completion, which I like. You're not done. It's not over. You gotta wait until you kill all the baddies. My cursor position's getting so bad that I'm on my other screen. Like, I'm not paying attention and I have my mouse dragged literally across the other side. So, play one line. Oh, God. Words are not going to be my friend today. Play online. So, these are the achievements I got. Wave 4, 5, 12. So, I got some stuff. New areas, new weapons. Wave 20 with less than 50 melee and projectile damage. Got the sugarcane. And some jazz. So let's do a new run. See what our new weapons and skills and stuffs are. So this was our base weapon. 10 damage, 1.3. Nothing going on. So this does more damage. With a much slower attack speed, almost half. Candy cane does more damage, but it's a little faster. Let's go for a projectile run. So this was 10 with 1. Move, crit, crit damage, area of effect, collect. Damage 13. Slow projectiles with a big range. All right, let's see what that does. And choose your skills. 12 additional random skills will be added to your spawn pool. See, I didn't read that the first time. Melee attacks we're not going to do. Can't click any of those because I haven't unlocked them. I did unlock... I thought I did. I did. Okay, so the thing I unlocked said Meteor Blow, and it looked like this skill here, but in green. Kind of like this color over here. I'm colorblind, don't judge me. But it did unlock. 30% chance to cast a meteor in random direction in your attack area. Scales with your AoE. So what's the difference here? Range attacks, melee attacks. That's what the difference is. I think poison's gonna be a solid hit, as is the scatter and projectile. Companions could be neat. And we're gonna get some other random ones. So we'll get 8 additional random skills. So let's see what maps we have. Now we can choose the basement again, and the next tier is gonna be increased spawn rate, HP, and traps. Let's try the beach. Okay, so the flail moves almost all the way around. That's kind of cool. I could see that being really good with a high attack speed build. Oh man, what is happening here? All right, we're gonna take the companion because we said we would. Where's our first? Each milk adds a new shooting direction. Okay, we said we wanted that. I don't know that I want to choose movement speed just yet. Let's run this route, see where it takes us. Definitely think movement speed's gonna be big on this one. Now it might also be that my character is slower. Move speed of 1. All right, 2 more skills. Let's go with the move speed and the attack speed so we can hop on down and grab some projectile stuff. We're probably gonna have to while we can focus on making a projectile build, more or less, it's evident that you have to balance it. Some, at least. Enough to get you by. Or at least in the early stages of the game, where it can be kind of crucial to have all right, so let's bump up that there and that there. And next we'll hop down and grab those two. So the little, what are those? Crabs. I'm drawing a blank. They do a little AoE thing. So that increases companion damage, which is just 10. Skill type, skill effect. Range shot angle is increased. Projectile spawn angle. I feel like that one might be worth having, as is the poison. Oh, I have 3 skills. Let's go for the little doodly-doo that attacks when you attack. So it does appear that my projectiles do not pierce. For some reason I thought they would. 3 more. One, 2, 3. Grab poison shot. That might be useful too. I think we also need to get some attack speed, because we're running a little slow right now. So what was I saying we could grab? I thought there was one that we could connect to directly, so scattering projectiles on an enemy hit. These trees are so wild. It's... Planning feels really chaotic. I think we're gonna take this to see how that runs. And then we're gonna find an attack speed node in a direction we like. Let's see where you're going. I gotta read that tooltip again about the elites. Do you gain more experience by killing the elite? I know you get a shard, so you get the reroll, and it says that you get all of the experience that you would have had. Every 10 light fragments will be converted to an elite enemy spawn, which will show up in the next wave. If defeated, it will drop a big light fragment containing all of the EXP of the 10 stashed light fragments. I guess what's the benefit is really my question. Okay. Let's juice up our attack speed. And we don't have any crit yet. So let's take some crit. I'm really tempted to try a melee flail run just because the full circle swing back with a high attack speed could be really neat. It feels like there's a really nice balance here between melee versus ranged and the types of skills that you could potentially collect and the power that they add. So like being super fast could in theory make you very viable. There was a tree I was staring at. All right. Let's just take it. AoE, awesome. So this is my second run. We did the first run on the first level, which was the basement, survived all 20 rounds. We're now on round 9 of our second run. 2 new weapons, a flail, and this scythe-looking thing that I'm throwing. So far, so good. There were a few close calls in the first run. Partially my fault. Got a little greedy with the... Oh, we get to double up twice. Ironically, though, I don't think I have any AoE That's an AoE skill. Don't do that. So poison shot's way over there. Hey, I haven't taken damage yet. I was kind of hoping that the companion-based system was going to allow me to have, like, lots of companions spawned all over the place. Oh, I took damage. Son of a bitch. Twice. Oh. I wasn't really anticipating having a perfect run. It's doable, but it is challenging. Three, so I'm capped out right there. That's some bullshit. Means I gotta backtrack. Let's bump up our melee damage. Poison shot's way out there. All your conditional skills deal 50% additional damage. Does it say condition damage? So I don't have, I think, any conditional damage just yet. Getting an additional projectile would be nice, though. I have no idea what energy regeneration or endurance regeneration is for the game at all. Now that's a challenging one. I think we're going to go for the additional projectile first, and then swing back for the multiplier. So far, it hasn't gotten wildly out of control. I feel like the damage scaling or difficulty scaling can be kind of hit and miss. Don't get me wrong, we're at the very beginning of this game. I keep thinking that my my little furry friend down there is an enemy, so he comes running at me, and I'm like, I gotta dodge out the way. But he's on my side. Only one. 1, 2. Yeah, we're gonna go that way anyways. Is there anything I don't need right now? AoE feels like it's kind of a waste. I think the only skill I have that's AoE based is this one. I could grab 2 points, get an AoE back, but let's do that. How do we do this? To a new random skip. Oh. Oh. I am now following. I thought that was a reset, not a... Well, that changes things. Kind of wish I had known that before. That makes a huge difference because that allows me to start re-rolling shit. I like it. I don't know if I would prefer a re-roll as in removing skills. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely like having the ability to randomize those. Because it does things like what you just saw, which is I now have an extra projectile piece to select from. Boop, 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 boop. So 2 more. So we're gonna grab that extra projectile and bump up our damage. How does it work with skills? Does it just randomly... It changes them to new skills! Oh, snap. No, it does... Okay, I got excited there for a second. I thought it locked the skill in place and just rotated between skills. So now that I have enough projectiles, I think I'm probably gonna start trying to grab the projectile radius, which will help expand those out into something closer to a circle instead of just the triangle that I'm shooting right now. I'm only shooting 2 at a time? Oh, I thought I was shooting 3. It must be because they were hopping around so much I couldn't tell what was happening. Yeah, let's get some elites on screen. All right. Excuse me. Bum, 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 bum. What am I doing here? Attack speed is good. I do kind of want a new skill. Let's take that, and we're gonna grab another projectile right there. Whoa now. Look, I don't appreciate that. And I can't get rid of them. So I think it's... I don't actually know. Is it a heart per level or a heart per several levels that just shows up and then hangs out on the map? I said this before, I'm pretty sure that they're stationary, so they're gonna stay there, but we're gonna test this. We got 2 up here in this corner. We're gonna see if they stay there through to the next map. Confirm that. Additional projectile. All right, so here's the angle, spawn angle. So this should help blurry them out, and then we can grab some more damage. Let's... no, we'll leave it. Wow, you're speedy. All right, let's go look for our hearts. So there's 2 there, but they did move. So it might be that you get to retain a certain number on the map. Oh, come on, I want more level. Ah, just made it. So I can grab an additional projectile, which I think I'm gonna do. Anything interesting pop up? AoE. I think getting range damage would be good. But getting them to last longer is good too. Three more levels. So now we're shooting a little wider. So there's one heart over there, and now one over there, which I need a heart. I do think one of the things they could probably add, and it may be, we can look. A very first iteration of story voice acting. I was looking for a new cursor, literally like my mouse, something a little more visible, because right now it gets pretty lost to the point where I had it on the other screen. I was just kind of not paying attention. I see my other stuff moving around. I'm like, what's happening over there? All right, I was going in a direction. Guess we'll go for some spread. Damage seems really good. Now what's going on? Oh, I don't have enough. I was like, why can't I choose that one? It'll be nice too, because on higher difficulties, there are higher experience amounts, and so you can branch further into the tree to more projectiles, more damage. It gets more chaotic. I'm looking forward to it. Testing out all the weapons is fun too, seeing what each one does and how it plays. Like, I was totally unsure about the flail because it was like half the attack speed of the sword, but it goes all the way around, and that's cool. So I'm wondering what the candy cane is going to be like. I do feel like I've slowed down in relation to the enemies. Not a lot of movement speed happening at the moment. So let's bump up our damage. What's our attack speed? And some attack speed. So last wave. Well, last wave that's going to give us experience. And I don't want a boss with an elite, so we're going to try and grab as many of these as possible, not spawn another one. You're chunky. And fast. I guess spacebar clicks away from you. So we're gonna re-roll that one. Till we get something that's like, yes, must have, which is probably going to be an increase in projectiles, which we may not hit. Yeah, just movement speed. So, boost to crit. Projectile damage. All right, final build. Oh, I ran right into that. Those have a warning spawn. I don't think I saw an on-screen trigger for those. They just start small and you just kind of have to move out of the way quickly. I do like that they let the round continue until it ends. Some of them will be like, you defeated the boss, you win. So what do we get? No damage, got magic shield, bursting shot, bunch of no damage achievements. Cyclic might. 50 projectile spawn angle, we got a new skill. New map, new weapon. All right, after the first 2 rounds, I played a bunch more. Final verdict, this game is fantastic. I was live streaming and the developer of the game showed up, hung out for a bit, gave him some feedback. It just released, but there are a lot of upcoming changes that are making small modifications, and he even took some of my advice into consideration in ways to help the game streamline a little better in descriptions and minor fixes. But I've put some good hours into this, and there's a lot of content, there are a lot of maps, a lot of monsters, a lot of skill sets, and the build diversity is really good. You can play strictly melee, you can play strictly projectile based, but also there's build variation. You can go really fast on the attack speed and fewer skills, or go really heavy on the skills and go slow on the attack speed. It's balanced well enough that it doesn't feel like the meta is so locked in, at least in the beginning. Endgame could shift it some where you really have to pick very specific strategies in order to survive those endless waves after you continue on. I'm excited for what this game has in store. I'll be putting out more content related to this one because this is a banger. Highly recommend it. It just came out a few days ago, December 5th. It's $5, I think. Go grab it. Go play it. It's a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this, give me a like, give me a follow. You'll be seeing more first plays where I'm showing you RPGs, horde survivals, roguelikes, because that's what I jam with, and see if games are worth playing. I'll see you in the next one.